All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a guide on how to do the new Grandmaster, the Proving Ground Strike. And I've been grinding this thing all day, so I'm definitely getting a bit tired here. So I'm going to do this a one take, and I'm going to give you all the advice I possibly can. So if there's any weird edits in this, just know I'm doing this all with one audio recording to make it nice and simple for you. But I'm fast forwarding the footage a ton, okay? When you spawn in, run up the left side. Okay, you've got all three of your teammates up here. This spot I go up here is extremely advantageous. This first guy that you face, he's a real tank. Okay, so don't let him milk all your ammo out. If you can, try to just take your time, shoot the primary ammo at him quite a bit. One thing that's really important in terms of team composition is that you're looking to have at least two banner shield titans with Ursa Furiosa. In my opinion, you could have three, but it seemed to work kind of nice to have two banner shields and then one well of radiance. That's mostly because you're looking for ultimately survivability in these grandmasters. And in this grandmaster, and I'm someone I've done hundreds of these now. This grandmaster is more about survivability than any others because for some weird reason, Bungie has made the bosses so much more tankier in this one than any of the other grandmasters that have ever come out. So just keep that in mind, that the bosses are just way more tanky, which means, and they still one shot you like they always do in all grandmasters, so it ends up just being a lot more tedious than ever before. And when we drop in this spot right here, we pop our banner shields and we keep trading off back and forth. One thing I would recommend is to potentially just jump up and to the right there on that platform that I just jumped up to and died ironically in this video. But that platform is actually a really good advantageous spot to go because you can see all of the enemies, so you don't end up wasting your time or fighting enemies that strafe around a block or a building or something like that. But there are enemies that spawn behind you when you get up there, so keep that in mind. You have to constantly check that. And if you're running two Ursa Furiosas like I've mentioned, you could just put down some Titan walls, okay, and that'll blind them, that'll weaken them, and you should be able to handle them. And at the very least, just pop your banner and block. Right here you see we keep getting in this bad spot where we're dying. We constantly have to shooting enemies. Our team synergy isn't there because we're kind of spread out a little bit. And it's not nearly as effective, I think, in this spot as it is up into the top right. I think it's always better if you can to get a high vantage point and look down on the enemies. That way they can't strafe away, and that way it's very easy to spot exactly who you're trying to team as a team, who you're trying to aim at, the champions or the majors, whatever it may be. After you kill all the enemies, one tip you can use in this spot is that if you leave one scion on the little tank there, the little interceptor, you can go around and pick up ammo, which is nice. You can recollect your supers, whatever you need to do. And then once you're ready to go, all you need to do is everyone needs to hop up there. You kill that last scion that's rolling around in that interceptor. And then again, be aware the enemies spawn behind you. The door does open, but you're not going to hear that in the heat of the battle. And then the first thing you want to do is take out these big tanks, okay? Get them really weak, shoot. We were shooting them with Izanagi's Burden on each leg until were like one shot, and then they have a ton of HP even when they're like one shot, so just shoot it with a rocket, get rid of it. That's definitely the best way to get through this part, is shoot the two tanks first. Of course, they're going to one shot you, they're going to shoot the wall behind you, blow you up. Then you got to kill the champions, make sure you're clearing the champions, call out where they're at. Good communication is very important. There's a lot of comparable attributes to playing high-end PvP and high-end PvE in a lot of ways. You need to have good comms. You need to make sure you're teaming the right champion, the same champion rather. And then after that part, we run through this area and make sure, if you're running these banners, you can just trade off back and forth endlessly. I pop my banner a ton and we just trade back and forth, banner for banner for banner, so on and so forth. A little bit in terms of my guide and build, I've made a few videos about this, so make sure that you watch the other Grandmaster guides if you want to have an exact build, but I'll give you a little bit of the logistics of it as you can watch this video here and see the route that we go and everything we do. And when I do get to the boss room, I'll give you all the fine details because it's definitely important to pay attention to that part. I'm rocking a pulse rifle. The last partition is void, great for breaking obviously the void shields. My roll in it has rangefinder and kill clip, and then I do have a minor spec on that pulse rifle. Definitely a solid pulse rifle, puts in a lot of work, and the reason why I'm using it is mostly just because of the unstoppable champions are in this Grandmaster. So you got to have that unstoppable pulse. You could use a hand cannon, but you're going to be at a deficit of range. So I would highly suggest not to use a hand cannon. And if you have that one teammate on your team that's like, man, I use a hand cannon, I don't use pulse rifles. It's like, all right, dude, well, like, please just don't throw, just use the fucking pulse rifle, okay? Like me personally, I would love to use some of my god rolled hand cannons. I'd love to use my palindrome, maybe even, because, I just got it from doing the strike, right? You want to use your palindrome, right? This is the palindrome week. I feel like everyone's probably using palindrome, but you are going to be at a disadvantage. You're not going to have quite as much range, so try to just use the pulse rifles. You know what I'm saying? Just use the stuff that is the best. Keep the most distance you can. That way you can keep your res tokens up really high, and your teammates are going to be happy, you're going to be happy, and you're just going to have a much better experience, okay? Power ammo weapon, I'm using the code Duello for solar. You could use a void one. There's really nothing arc in this. Randomly, an arc shield guy does generate. Here is a cheese spot you can use if you do want to. I would recommend not using it though, because the fireballs still come after you, and often the way it works is just, it's really buggy and kind of hard, and it can tend to be more time consuming. It's actually better to learn the proper strat, a strat that we actually developed after doing this for 6+ hours. We finally figured out a really good strat. And so the start is right here. Okay, this is boss damage phase 1. Start closest towards the door. Okay, now after we clear this out, and this is going to take a while, even with this fast forward motion, it takes a while. We clear all the ads out and we start damaging the boss a ton. I'm evading from these fireballs, jumping around, etc., etc. Trying to get my super energy back. You know, there's no big rush here, right? I'm only at like a little past half super energy, so we don't even need to get into the next damage phase. You do need to be weary though, because the boss can randomly just like start killing all of you. Like, the boss is super lethal. His shot can definitely mess you up. The fireballs, yeah, like that right there. I just die randomly, so keep that in mind. We're just sitting here plugging away at the boss, just lighting him up with primary ammo. And what we're going to do here next is we're going to rotate to the other side of the map. Yes, this is really important. You need to do this, because then we damage the boss a little bit more. We get him down to the next damage phase, and when the champion comes out right there, boom, we end that champion. Then we go kill the other champion, because those champions are actually really buggy and they will teleport into your face and they'll get you killed. And if the boss is shooting those giant fireballs at you and the champions are after you, you're done. Like, it's so hard. You have to either clear them out really fast and efficiently from way in the back on the other side, or you have to rotate to this side like we did. And I highly, highly recommend just rotating to this side. As far as damaging the boss's little orb here in the bubble, we're just walking in, shooting it. There's a few different methods that people are doing. I think people are using like sky burners and stuff like that. Again, if you use sky burners, like, that probably works, but overall it's not going to be as fast of a clear. And the builds and the philosophy I want to give people for this is like, you should be able to beat this kind of fast, kind of efficiently. If you have to do an hour-long run, I mean, you know, at least you got it beat, right? But you're not going to get as many runs done, and you're trying to get that really good, that god rolled palindrome that I ironically get at the end of this video. So I'm trying to get this thing done in like 20 minutes, you know what I'm saying? That's the real goal, but at first it takes a lot longer than that. So we're just peppering him down now. We're staying on this side of the map. Then we choose to rotate to the other side of the map for this damage phase. And keep in mind, this is will be the third damage phase that we make him go into. And we're choosing to be on this side of the map because when he launches his fireballs in the air, they just hit the roof. That's awesome. And then we're able to fight the champions. And you see there, the champion bugs out and he teleports right next to us. And that sucks. And it almost killed us. And it's super lame that's like literally I guess that's just a feature, right? There's no bugs in Destiny 2, only features. That's a feature where literally the champion just warps right into your face, the unstoppable. So very tough to deal with. So that's why we like to rotate throughout the map. But we didn't want to stay on the boss side that time because the fireballs would curve around and track around and kill us. So we purposely chose to go all the way over there. And as long as you do that strat, that rotation strat, the boss room is the hardest point for sure. I think we can all agree. Tank room's pretty crazy, but when you got double banners, you're going to make it through the tank room. Now, even with double banners, boss room is pretty gnarly. But as you can see there, we got through it pretty easy, efficiently, and got the god roll adept palindrome. Yeehaw. So there it is. That's my guide. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.